For those watching my channel, they might be seeing a little bit of a birdie problem. So there he is. He's busy eating my ears, so if you hear me go ouch, he's taking he's cleaning my ears out. I don't know why, but anyways. He squawks so much, so I think he needs a little bit of attention. So I'm letting him stay on me, and hopefully, hopefully he won't squawk so much and feel part of the conversation. So try to ignore the birdie, and I'll keep reading. This is recording. And 3 forms of matter. Number 1, the particle form of matter. People everywhere are familiar with particles. For more than 200 years, everything from our school systems to our government has accepted the idea that reality is made of particles. So completely trained are we in particle thinking that we are locked into an immense closed system of information, an event horizon, and many of us have a great deal of trouble thinking outside our particleized box. After all, looking at reality as a mechanism combination of particles has led to the Industrial Revolution and the mechanism society and the depersonalization of the political and corporate world. Particle thinking is linear, rational, and logical. It is also totally incapable of managing reality, and thus governments based upon particle premises such as dictatorships, pyramids of power, and colonialism are not able to sustain themselves. Linear thinking is not capable of containing reality. The rational mind cannot comprehend what life is all about. Number 2, the waveform of matter. A century ago, the birth of quantum physics brought about a revolutionary change in how we view the world. Research scientists had spent a great deal of time and energy trying to find the smallest particle, only to find out that the smallest things are not particles at all, but standing waves of information. No longer confined to particle thinking, scientists began to explore the wave functions of reality. Eventually, quantum thinking began to spread into our branches of thought. It was responsible for a renaissance of new inventions and laid the scientific basis for the rise of communism. All physicists in the Soviet Empire understood quantum physics. It is required learning. Reality included the common good, including the ultimate value of the larger group or the state over the individual. Wave processing of information is nonlinear, emotive and reference on gut-level feelings. People around the world recognize the value of human emotions, the power of love, the driving force of principles. However, the wave process of emotions is not capable of managing reality. It was obvious in the Soviet Union. It broadened our insights and provided passion, among other things, but reality is not contained within passion. There goes the bird. Thus, quantum thinking and its social expressions, such as communism, cannot embrace reality. Built into its basic assumptions are the seeds of its own demise. Reality is more than wave function. Number 3, presence, the holodynamic form of matter. When we look at reality from a particle or wave view, we can only see part of the whole dynamic. Only when we are present can we view the whole dynamic and embrace reality. Take, for example, the exploration of the inner limits of smallness or the outer expansion of bigness, where scientists have discovered that both particle and waves are hyperspatial information systems manifesting holographically in a conscious universe. They have learned that at some dimensions of reality, everything is connected. Reality is holodynamic. We are part of a hyperspatial quantum field of parallel worlds in multiple dimensions enfolding within our own physical world. Our entire system is a multidimensional network of consciousness woven through the fabric of time and space, and at the core of this amazing network is presence, the consciousness of cause. Now, in looking back through time, we can see that scientists developed classical physics to understand particles and quantum physics to understand wave dynamics. I'm going to have to do something about that bird. Now, in our current history, we are at the beginning of a new science of holodynamics. We want to better understand more about the dimensions of consciousness and of presence. We can now look beyond the normal experience of our physical world and into our relationship to the hidden dimensions enfolded within our universe. We now realize that in order to understand life, we must look at reality from holodynamic view, one that is aware of the whole dynamic of life, including a multidimensional connection. Still in its infancy, the science of holodynamics has already revealed keys to uncovering some major problems facing humankind. The Soviet experience helped clarify our understanding that the different dimensions of reality can be integrated. It has helped begin the transformation of the poles between personal and collective consciousness. We now know that depending upon whether we use particle, wave, or presence, we will experience the world in distinctively different ways. These differences in the way we perceive, store, and use information are at the root of every challenge and every conflict we face on the planet. Those who are aware of the holodynamics of life are able to experience life more fully, to become one with nature, to communicate with a field of flowers, to become one with different life forms and with other humans. From this state of being, disease heal, and all our walls come tumbling down. 3 forms of consciousness. It is interesting that each form of matter, particle, wave, and presence has a corresponding type of consciousness. We have found particle, wave, and presence processes in nature, especially among humans. Each type of information system develops naturally through stages of development. They result from different forms of exposure and conflict until, even in nature, we learn to cooperate and collaborate. Until then, the differences we experience because of our thinking processes are the cause of our problems. So that's what's going on a global scale, is we will have to constantly have this conflict going on until we understand how we're supposed to cooperate. This is how you beat this new world order. This is how you beat them at their own game. It's not through war, but yeah, unfortunately, the only way we're going to wake up to this, unless this information is shared and everybody wants it, and we all see that we need to cooperate now, the faster we learn the cooperation rule, the faster we can unfold change. But unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to kill off most of the planet and then maybe try and get it. When there is no food, that's when we'll decide to cooperate. But right now, as long as some people have food, they don't give a shit about the other people who don't have food. So there's no sense of cooperation yet. What I'm saying here is that it becomes imperative that every human understand the distinctions between particle consciousness, wave consciousness, and holodynamic consciousness in order to solve problems. Understanding these distinctions has already helped shift the field for the healing of disease, overcoming mental illnesses, transforming drug abuse habits, crime, and the meltdown of the Iron Curtain, and transformation of terrorism, among other things. Part of the foundation upon which success experiences was built was the understanding of these 3 types of consciousness. So I'm going to discuss them in more detail. Cooperativism is something that the creator of this book hasn't quite grasped yet. He had 0 interest in cooperating with me. All he wanted is for me to cooperate with him. And what his cooperation was, me giving him money. So cooperation is something that we really do have to understand, and we certainly are not getting it. We are, listen to what I say, and, nobody's listening to anybody else. Everybody wants to be heard, but nobody's listening to anybody else. Nobody's asking, what can I do to help you? That is the rule. Like if I was to be cooperative with this Dr. Wolf, I'd be asking him, what do you want me to do? And he would come up with something that I can physically do. Giving him money is not something that I can do. So he has to be the one that's responsible for asking for what it is that he wants that I can provide. At the same time, I've asked him what to do, what he could do to help me, and he had zero interest in it. He won't accept any conversation unless you're giving him money. I'm going to have to do something with my bird, so I'll continue on another tape, and I'll continue the book.